Mastering the backswing will make your downswing infinitely easier. You may not even have to think about anything in the downswing once you've mastered the backswing. In today's video, we're going to show you why these three key elements will help you master your backswing. We're going to show you exactly what to do to own these three elements, and then of course give you a drill to help you train it. Hopefully by now you've seen the how to master the takeaway video, because this is just going to be a continuation of that as the club continues on to the top. So we're going to talk about three key elements today. The first is making sure, and we'll do this a lot in lessons where we'll turn, when the golfer's in gears, we'll turn the body off. So you just see the club moving in space. That has enough power for a lot of golfers to say, okay, that's what the club's doing. Then let me kind of start to connect the dots with how the body moves to support that. The first element here to master your backswing is making sure the club gets pitched correctly halfway back.
Yeah, I mean, this is really misunderstood part of the backswing.
Right.
I think we've been coached into, or a lot of golfers have been coached into this idea that it's a death move to ever get the club head on the other side of the hands. Well, the interesting part about that is you have to get it back there at some point to make a swing. So when you're trying to artificially prop it up here and have this club kind of pointed behind you, the butt of the club this way, you have to add a kind of a late move to it, and that could go either way. It could be way across, or you could be flopping laid off, which we'll get to in a minute. But this halfway back is such a great key checkpoint.
The reason that's so important, or there's two things really that you touched on there with golfers are trying to avoid. One is letting the face open. So for every golfer, no matter who you can think of, that face opens about 90 degrees in the backswing. Your job is to control when it happens.
That's right.
The second thing is, when does that club head get behind the hands? Because for every golfer, it's going to get behind the hands. When it happens is key. The reason it's so important to look at the halfway backswing is, you know, a big part of the golf game is hitting off-speed shots, distance wedges. If you're this player is trying to keep the club steep or whatever, and this is your end of your wedge swing, you've got to learn a wholly different swing, because you want that club to be able just to make a downswing. So why not get it in a spot where you can stop the backswing and make a downswing at any point along this window? And that's why this is so important.
Yeah, so should we kind of show them what we do?
This has been used forever. Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, there's a video out there showing him using one of these little lasers, and we'll put a link down below where you can get one of these from us. But it just screws into the back of your grip.
Super simple.
Yeah, it goes in like that. It just takes a second to put it in there, and then you click the button on. Now the laser's on. And what you can do is kind of imagine an extended target line out here. You could even, put something on the ground, a club or something. But what you're trying to do, by the time your left arm gets parallel to the ground, see if I can get it to stay on, you want that laser pointed somewhere near the target line. And depending on your wrist hinge, it'll point in a little different area, but the pitch of the club would put this laser somewhat on this target line. And if you tried to keep the hands in, club out for too long, that thing points way behind you. And then if I continue that, a lot of times it's going to go the other way, which we're going to talk about.
So
now,
let's dial that in a little bit. Go back to having it pointed at the target line. Now you can have it pointing at the target line with the hands way out here. That wouldn't be good.
Great point.
You could have it pointing at the target line with the hands kind of way in here. Again, not good. You want to look at this part in the backswing. You want to look from a down the line camera angle that the hands are roughly mid body.
About like that right there.
Yeah.
You can even bring them in to check and then take them right back out again. Make sure that's pitched. And the cool part about that is all I'd have to do is change direction, whap, that sweet spot tracks right to the ball.
If you want to improve your wedge game, especially those intermediate wedges, man, if you can do this on every wedge swing, you're going to be a heck of a wedge player.
And it's a cool laser.
Yeah, cool. It's always, lasers are always
Now,
cool.
if you have cats, you might have a problem, but anyways.
So that's number one. That's getting the club pitched on plane properly. The next element of this is making sure from there the club just sickles around, to use a Brian Manzella term, or kind of the Nike swoosh. It works around by continuing the turn and letting the arms work across the body correctly, and avoiding this late club getting flopped and laid off at the top.
Yeah.
That's the killer we want to avoid.
Yeah, so the club here will get kind of its deepest point, and it'll reach its highest point as it makes its down track. Now the down track, depending on how long your swing is, will be a different length. But you have to imagine if it kept going, if you had a swing and you imagine if your swing kept going kind of like John Daly, it would hit you about in the back of the neck.
Because that swing plane on this side of the body is right here. So that club head, again, would be swinging down this plane, which would be what would look like across the ground, or across the line.
Yep.
It's just past parallel, but it's still on plane.
So the shape of this sickle is very, very important.
Yes.
And it keeps you from laying off late and having the club low and laid off.
So again, if I put that swing plane up, you see how off plane that is. Now to correct that, you're gonna have to pull it way off plane coming down.
When I kick the body in, now the club tumbles too much. So a lot of you that hitting these like white beep shots and pulls, it's this laid off motion that flips the club the other way too much. If you can get your sickle correct with the down track going back towards you a little and you turn, the weight of that mass of the club will fall more behind you. You can do all the stuff you're trying to do with your body and get open and all that good stuff.
So we've got getting the club pitched properly on plane, getting to the top with the club in a good position, not flop behind you laid off. And then the last piece is making sure your body is getting back to the center. It's the textbook version of recentering, that is just recentering back at the top, not forward, not stuck on the back foot, just recentered. So when you pull on the club to start down, it's gonna be easy to get that trail side through and get in those, you know, world-class impact positions that we all enjoy. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. We love making these videos. We love helping golfers. If our videos have helped you at all, please subscribe. Also, we're gonna give you a drill in a few minutes to help you with this. Then if you click on the first pinned comment below this video, there'll be another drill to even go even a little farther that we'd be happy to send you for free. What were you gonna say?
So
before you were rudely interrupted?
What I'm about to say could be its own video, but it ties into recentering, the third thing we talked about here. So what we see in a good recentering motion, let's say you have a little shift off the ball, a lot of good players do, right? In the backswing as it's finishing, and they just kind of float back toward the middle while they're still turned, right? Then when their body kicks in, you start to unwind on the downswing and the weight and pressure's in the right place.
Correct.
What we see a lot with a lack of recentering, a lot of you are going to be guilty of this and you don't even know you do it. It's like one of these things, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Right.
We call it the foot pirouette.
Yes.
So in an attempt to get open, because you're on your trail side, when you spin your body, the hip kind of stays right, but the knee moves because the heel is running free here loosely, and it spins the heel inside here towards the golfer, away from the target. Right. And when you do that, that motion works right up the chain, so everything's connected right from my foot to my club. You can see how that makes a steep motion, and once that horse is out of the gate, there's no putting it back in. Well,
Shaun, do that again. So to go to the top and get ready for the pirouette, do it face on, actually.
Yep, so I'm here.
Yep, so Shaun can't pirouette this foot, and you're exactly right. Most golfers have no idea they're doing
they don't know they're doing it. They think it's just, oh, whatever.
So you can't pirouette this foot and be on that foot.
Exactly.
So you have to hang out on that back foot to lighten this foot enough to change its position.
So it's just load up and then spin.
And the problem is that club ain't waiting on you to get all this sorted out.
No, it starts to do its own.
That club's working down, your pressure's late, your weight is late, and now you're in trouble. So the recentering is a big key to making sure none of this happens.
Yeah, and the drill we're going to give them after this, we'll fix this for them too.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the drill.
Well, my favorite probably is starting the club here.
Yes.
Because it takes care of a lot of issues. So I'll do it from down the line. So you would start the club forward. You don't need a ball, but you can pretend the ball's there. Start the club forward, trail heel off the ground. Okay? You're going to put the heel on the ground, and you're going to swing the club head back like you're going to hit a backward shot at the camera. You would never go like this because you wouldn't hit the ball anywhere. So you have to kind of flip the club upside down here, right, as it goes back. So it's heel down, swing back. You'll feel a little backing in, and you just make a continuous motion on the follow through. And what you'll do, you'll get kind of this rhythm going where it's right, recenter, hit, right, recenter, hit, and it kind of creates this like fluid motion and rhythm.
You want to imagine like you're an elephant's head just swinging its trunk.
Yeah, that's right.
And you kind of get this rhythm to it. Now, what you won't see if you do it correctly is you won't see this movement because that's super manipulated when you swing something. You won't see this movement. So you'll really start to automate the takeaway into the backswing and create that one cohesive movement. Film yourself when you do that. Get the camera in a good position. Film yourself doing it and making sure some of these old habits aren't creeping in. But if you do this drill combined with the other drills that we've shown you the takeaway, and you have the awareness now of where things should be. And once you know where things should be, it's much easier getting there than if you just try to rely on some obscure feel that may be different for every single one of you. So give this drill a try. If you want another drill for this, make sure to click that link below. We'll send you another free drill.